All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down how you can completely streamline your digital operations using AI and then take all that freed up time to hook a massive audience. We're looking at this fascinating intersection of back-end automation and front-end engagement. It is literally a game changer for content creators and knowledge workers, and we're going to see exactly why.
So let's be honest for a second. We all know the universal struggle of digital folders turning into an absolute mess, right? You know exactly what I mean. The chaotic downloads folder, the poorly named drafts, those endless file hierarchies we promised ourselves we're definitely going to deal with later. But what if you never had to deal with them manually again? What if that entire side of your digital life could just run on autopilot?
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The admin automation dilemma. 2. Cowork, the delegated agent. 3. Claude Code, collaborative speed. 4. Content work and engagement. And 5. Winning video title hooks.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the admin automation dilemma and rethinking AI tools. Now, there's this massive misconception floating around that these new AI file management tools are strictly for software engineers. But Anthropic's usage data completely shatters that myth. Get this. Out of over 1.2 million sessions for more than 600,000 organizations, less than 9% of usage is actually for software development. That is wild.
What this data definitively shows us is that everyday content creators and knowledge workers are the ones actually leveraging these systems. They aren't building complex software apps. They're using these tools to clear out their administrative backlog and handle the mundane stuff that totally gets in the way of actual creative work. Business operations and content work are absolutely dominating this space.
Moving on to Section 2, Cowork, the delegated agent.
So how exactly are non-coders pulling this off? Well, think of Cowork as your ultimate away-from-desk delegator. You hand it a task, you point it at a folder, and it drops a Claude.md file in there to establish the rules. From there, it just goes off to do its thing across your files and connected apps. You give it a repetitive pattern, leave it to its own devices, and it can even run nightly scheduled tasks without you ever needing to kick it off. It's like having a tireless assistant working in the background.
It handles sloppy, time-consuming folder admin brilliantly. Say you have a massive batch rename across a folder with a consistent pattern. It steps through it effortlessly. It can update Markdown files by adding front matter to a whole stack, one by one, without you having to open a single document. It can even safely restructure highly sensitive structured formats, like JSON files, where every single entry needs a new field. JSON usually severely punishes sloppy edits and small mistakes, but Cowork handles the precision required flawlessly.
And here is the real game changer. Because of recent updates, it now runs natively in the cloud via mobile and web. This means you can use the dispatch feature to fire off massive administrative tasks straight from your phone. You could literally be organizing an entire massive Obsidian vault while you're standing in line for coffee, completely away from your PC. It takes delegation to a whole new level.
That brings us to Section 3, Claude Code and collaborative speed.
But as your needs evolve past just background delegation, you need an AI that sits right at the desk with you. The difference here is huge. While Cowork queues tasks in the background for when you're away, Claude Code gives you raw speed and deep visibility right at your desktop. Cowork is about delegation, right? You check the work after the fact. But Claude Code is all about collaboration. You point it at a folder at the start of a session, and it just gets through tasks so much quicker.
You are sitting in the session with it, watching commands run and files open in real time. Because of this terminal-level visibility, you can catch mistakes before they happen and perform real-time course corrections. If it makes a wrong move, you just tell it, hey, undo that last thing and try it this way. Plus, Claude Code utilizes custom, reusable skills. So instead of describing a task from scratch every time, you just trigger a skill by name, like an instant query for a messy folder of JSON files or tracking your article pitches and meeting notes. It even has subagents with separate context windows to parallelize work. It's incredibly powerful.
Moving right along to Section 4, Content Work and Engagement.
Now that AI is handling all that heavy back-end lifting, what do you do with that saved time? I absolutely love this quote because it perfectly captures the pivot we need to make. Claude Code works best when you stop asking it to code. Once you stop treating these systems like rigid developer tools and start using them to understand chaos and streamline your workflow, they become the ultimate engine for content creators. You aren't bogged down in admin anymore. You are finally free to create.
So the fundamental question shifts for us.
We move away from asking how to make the content efficiently, and we start asking how you package that final product to actually engage viewers. You have the time to make great content now, for sure, but you absolutely need a strategy to get eyes on it.
Which perfectly leads us to our final section, Section 5, Winning Video Title Hooks. To get those eyes on your work, we can look at highly successful short-form content. Analyzing these videos reveals 4 primary frameworks that creators repeatedly use to design irresistible hooks. First up is the list-based critique or guide, which uses a specific number of points followed by a strong opinion or an informative angle. Second is the provocative question, where you pose a hypothetical or critical question to pique interest. Third is historical impact, highlighting exactly how a specific entity changed an entire industry. And fourth is the nostalgia or flex hook, which compares the value or status of a specific device from a past year.
Let's match each of these psychological hooks with a proven real-world title format, sort of like a cheat sheet. For the provocative question, you have titles like, "What if the iPhone Ultra is just bad?" For historical impact, it's formatting like, "How id Software changed the game with Quake." And for that nostalgia flex, it's leveraging past status, like carrying this $2,000 phone in 2016 was a flex. These formats work so well because they tap directly into viewer curiosity, history, and social proof.
And I really want you to notice how often the number 4 appears in these successful list-based guides. Titles like iPhone 17 Pro Max, 4 Things I Hate After Almost a Year, or Dual Screens plus RTX 5090, 4 Things to Know About Asus ROG Zephyrus Duo. It's a highly specific, informative angle that viewers just can't ignore. It promises a concise, structured delivery of information, which is exactly what a viewer scrolling through Shorts is looking for. It hits the nail on the head every single time.
So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. When all those tedious administrative tasks are fully automated by tools like Cowork and Claude Code, and your audience engagement is boiled down to a proven psychological formula using these 4 hook frameworks, your only limit as a creator is your own imagination. What will you create when all the friction is finally removed?